Welcome to Insight, where this week we explore the extraordinary story of Captain James Anthony Tan, the first Malaysian to fly around the world in a single engine aircraft. He also set 2 world records in the process, one for being the youngest person in the world to have made this flight, and also for doing it in the fastest time. We'll talk to him about his struggles with dyslexia and also how he overcame amazing adversity to come out with an extraordinary goal. We'd like to thank SimFlight KL for lending us this amazing facility to conduct the interview, and as we land safely, we'll be taking you through this interview in a bit. Don't go anywhere, stay right where you are. With me now to talk to us about his life story is Captain James Anthony Tan. Thank you so much for joining us, Captain, on Insight.
Thank you very much for actually having me. It's a great honor, and thank you, like always.
Captain, tell us about your early days, how you got started in your life. Who was your biggest inspiration growing up?
Okay, well, I was born... I'll just start from the very beginning. I was born on the 4th of June 1991 in Kajang. I'm a Kajang boy, born and bred. Went to a Chinese school, which was okay. But then because of my dyslexia, I wasn't able to actually learn that. I wasn't able to read the characters, and they did not know how to interact with me the best way. So after that, I left towards the Dyslexia Association of Malaysia, which is based in Ampang. And after that, I went to Chepaka International. It was hard. It was really hard. It took me 1 year just to get the basics of reading. I couldn't read and write until I was about 9 years old, which was quite an effort.
Captain, help us understand dyslexia a little bit, because to Malaysia, I think dyslexia is still very much less talked about. People with dyslexia probably don't come forward and they accept their condition to a certain extent. Some of them are even forgotten by the education system, because our education system does not really cater for dyslexic individuals. So what is dyslexia and how can we help?
Well, dyslexia varies tremendously within the individuals, but then for me, the fundamental principle was I couldn't read and write. I lack coordination, and I could not concentrate as well. And I couldn't see alphabets. I couldn't see A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like in a sentence, I just saw gibberish. The way that they actually helped me overcome that was with the DDA program. The DDA program was a program that I did in Singapore, which they use clay, and so I saw an A, I felt an A, and I heard an A. So with that, my mind was able to cater, that is an A. That is how an A is supposed to look like. Some dyslexics struggle with speaking and languages, which is what I have as well. But you know, there's always ways. There's always cues. And we are quite emotional as well sometimes. But other than that, we're pretty much normal. But the main difficulty was reading, actually seeing alphabets.
So you create awareness as well for dyslexia.
Yes,
you travel Malaysia and you talk about it. So have you managed to help individuals with dyslexia like you come on board programs, come forward, parents of children with dyslexia to come forward and to talk about it?
I've done a few chats with the Dyslexia Association of Malaysia, which is based in Ampang, and we had at least about 100 sittings on there, people coming in, families, because one of the things that really mess up a child, especially a child with that has special needs, is it is a broken home. Right. It is when the mother says this and the father says this, then everyone fighting because they don't know how to handle the situation. So this dyslexia, it is not a curse. It is a gift. Like some of the greatest minds ever. Like we were just speaking about him, Lee Kuan Yew. Sir Richard Branson, Tom Cruise, just to name a few of like different individuals. So there's nothing to be ashamed of. Yes, you have a problem, but face it, and you will create wonders.
Now, going back to your early days, talk about your family, your mom, your dad, and how they really supported you, because I've had the pleasure of speaking to your mom, and she is an individual in her own right.
Oh yes, my mom is an absolute gem. She literally, she sacrificed nearly everything for me. She used to drive me to KL and back. It took her about 4 hours, like just to take me there and back. Stay through the traffic jams. She got a job just to pay for me to actually go for education, because my dad is a servant of the people, and the pay isn't really great for that. So my mom got a job, went out there, she got out there, and she even went to college to actually learn how to handle me as well, how to handle my skill sets. So she did everything in her power, because to be honest, no one else would ever do anything like that. It's only your mother that will go that unbelievable mile just to ensure that you succeed, and I owe everything to her.
Still left to be discussed, of course, is your entire journey around the world, 21 countries. But of course, you didn't start with a single-engine plane flying around the world. Pilot school.
Okay.
How challenging was pilot school for someone who's had to struggle with learning and identifying A's? And here you are, signing up for pilot school, and it wasn't even in Malaysia. Where was it?
My first school was in Australia. I did a joint aviation, I did a JAR, and then I did an EASA program, then I did an FAA. So I have about 4 licenses now, including one here locally. But anyway, sorry, jumping the gun, back on cue. Thank you, Terence. So what can I say? I finished high school. My mom asked me what did I want to do. So I was like, I want to be a pilot. Okay. I was about 17 years old. So I think you should go out and work first, and try to see if you can survive on yourself. So I did. I worked as a waiter in Old Town. Then after that, I stayed in KL for 1 year. It was a fun time. Then after that, my mom said, "Okay, you're ready. So I packed my bags. I did a quick test. I passed. Nearly. I got 59%. So I didn't pass. So okay, not bad. So I got in an aircraft and I was gone. I flew off to Australia and started there. The first 3 months we were supposed to do 5 exams. I failed 2. It was absolutely horrible. I got dominated so badly because the pass mark is actually 75%.
Wow.
So I did. I studied so hard, but I was studying hard, but then this was one of my first lessons in life. There's a difference between doing it the hard way and doing it the smart way. And that is a way where I realized, wait a minute, I'm doing something wrong here. I identified my problem, then I rectified it. I failed my first 2. I was a horrible pilot. Honestly, I was horrible. I needed to do resit so many times. Then the instructor that finally was like, okay, you know what? I'll give you a chance at this. Was Justin Pettigrew. Justin Pettigrew said, all right, James. I landed. He looked at me. Okay. He jumped out of the. He kind of walked out of the aircraft and said, good luck. Then I took off. It was the worst landing I ever did in my life, but I felt so happy. It was a great sense of confidence. I think for me to get to my first solo was 16 hours. It takes usually about 12 to 13, so I had an extra 4. So I was like, you know what? So I kind of rectified my problems. I thought about it. I wrote it down. I tried to find solutions. That is where my skill sets really started to come in. I love to find solutions. I am fanatical about it. I'm like, So after that, I improved. I've never failed a flight test. Flight test full-time, first time pass rate. Then at the end of it, even though I failed my first two, I got such high marks on the rest of my papers. I got a 94 average.
Whoa!
So the key thing that aviation school taught me is rectifying problems. I faced it straight away. I did not procrastinate. In total, for me to get 2 licenses and go off towards America to work there for a bit was about 3 years. And that then includes all my licensing, all of my road jobs and everything. But the one thing that I will never forget, the thing that taught me, many things taught me like hard work, smart thinking, but there was 2 things. One was when I was about 12 years old. I'm just going back for a second. I just want to explain this. Was my father. This was one of the lessons he actually taught me. He was like, James, you've been playing computer games. I'm like, yes, Daddy. Okay, fine. Saturday and Sunday, you're gonna be home with me. I'm like, okay, I'm happy to. He went out and bought me a pair of scissors, and we had 1.5 acres of land. So I cut every single grass of that 1.5 acres of land for the next 6 months. But I never stopped, so I did finish at the end of it. So then the other one was when I was in the UK. Every single day, I was because I didn't have money for a car, I didn't have money for bikes, so all I had was a really, really old bicycle, which I kind of got second hand for about £15, and so I was riding it every single day through this mud field, you know, and there was just mud everywhere, and just cycling to and back every single day. Cycled in at 6:30, came back at 10 o'clock at night. Did that every single day for about 6 months, and then one day I was cycling back after about 2 to 3 flights, just cycling back, and I was so dazed, I was so tired, I flew straight into a pond. I flew straight into the pond, and I just stopped, you know, and that is when I pass on. That is when I transcended the moment. It's like, you know, I got up, I jumped into the pond, got my bike, and I pulled my bike out of the pond, and I cycled back. Then my friend saw me, so James like, okay, I'm all right. Then he went straight into the shower and showered in front of me, even though I was covered in fungus. I was like, thanks, Shayad. Yeah, it was good times. It was good times. It really, really taught me hard work. Yeah.
Captain James, it's been great getting to know you personally and really getting into your early story. And truly, you're someone who's been doing things the hard way and then finding solutions to the hard way, coming up with an ingenious method to really, you know, do everything else effortlessly. And you're a testament of what someone can do when they put their mind to it.
Thank you.
So we're going to come back and talk about your record-breaking flight around the world.
Okay.
So stay tuned to Insight. You don't want to miss this amazing story. You're still in flight with Insight, and thank you for staying tuned to the program, where we're speaking to one of the icons of Malaysia. He's an amazing individual, the youngest solo pilot to fly a single-engine aircraft around the world. And we're going to talk about that amazing journey with Captain James Anthony Tan. Earlier you shared your backstory, how it all started for you, and we took things right up to pilot school.
Yeah.
So now, let's get into that single-engine aircraft.
Okay.
How did you get inspired to want to fly around the world in the first place, and did Mom approve?
Okay, well, I just finished aviation school, fresh out, no experience, no nothing. But I was talking to all the different pilots, all the ferry pilots, all different kind of pilots, because there's many different kind of pilots out there, not just pilots within like the airlines, stuff like that. So just talking, sending out my CV, saying, "Hi guys, I'm alive." You know? So I just pushed for it. Then one day I got a very rare opportunity, a golden opportunity, and I was given a job. I was given an opportunity for a job for a very, very funny man. His name was Roy Tomlinson. He was a businessman in the UK. So I went to London. I was sitting down in London at this cafe at Hyde Park. You're sitting down there for about 5 hours, just waiting for this guy to come. And so he came after 5 hours. He's just like, "Are you James?" I'm like, "Yeah, and you're late." So we had a conversation just like this. He laughed, I laughed, while we could mingle. Then he was like, "James, you know what? I'm going to give you this chance. I am going to take this gamble on you." And I was like, "Thank you." And he hired me to fly his aircraft from England to Bangkok and back. It was just a joyride, but to me it was so weird, because in aviation you can ask any pilot. This is like the dream, you know, because all pilots want this, but it's never available. So I was given this opportunity, and I was given an all expense paid trip plus my salary, just to fly around and have fun. I went to Monte Carlo, Cannes, Reggio Calabria, Sicily, Egypt, Greece, all around the world, and I was having a whale of a time. It was just unbelievable, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And I was like just flying. I was like, you know, I'm living the dream. You know, I am so happy. I am living the dream, and you can just see me all dancing, having fun. But then one day when I was in Muscat, Oman, I was over there having a cup of coffee. Then I saw in front of me what I saw in myself, actually, a few years ago. And I looked at him and I was like, wow. His name was Lulu. He had Down syndrome. Sorry, he has Down syndrome. And I saw him, and it really frightened me, because I saw in him what I never want to see again in myself, which was no dreams, no inspiration, no goals, no ambition. He was empty. There was nothing in him, and that scared me. And I was like, I went to him and I looked at him, and I was like, wow. So I decided I wanted to do something with my life. You know, I wanted to contribute. I wanted to do something that was extraordinary, and that was when I figured out, this has never been done before in Malaysia. I can do this. I have the experience. I have this rare opportunity. Most people think I have thousands of hours, but the truth is that I don't. I have very limited experience. But then, like I said, I find ways to overcome everything. And I got the format plan out. I got everything laid out. I went to many different businessmen all around the world. I got about £10,000 from the UK. Then I was searching all around Malaysia as well, and nobody wanted to sponsor me. First of all, they look at me. I was only about 20 coming on 21. Who wants to sponsor a guy like that?
Did you smile?
Yes, I did. I tried all of that, Terrence. I tried all of that. I was like, I tried all of that. It didn't work. I gave them my presentation. They all said, who wants to sponsor you? You're too young. Your birthday is coming. This has never been done before. It is impossible. Okay. They all said that to me, and nobody wanted to give me this rare opportunity. So I was pushing. I got so overcome with stress that in 2 weeks I lost 6 kgs. Every single morning when I woke up, I was just vomiting. You know, just vomiting. And at one point I was vomiting blood. But you know what? I still pushed for it. Then one day, I had a rare meeting with Menteri Besar of Pengulangan. And I gave him a presentation. It was actually, he was introduced to me by my father. And I talked to him, presented to him, and he was like, you know what, this is possible. And he gave me his endorsement and signature. With that, I decided to go after the Prime Minister. So I went into the PMO, with two times. First time I got kicked out. Second time I went back. We were forced to wait about 4 hours because the guards never ever want to let you in. It's just really difficult to get inside. So finally, we were able to get in. I was there with ASEAN and Faz. These two were my first teammates. This is another lesson that I learned. It is no man is an island. You know, if you are by yourself, you will fall. You must be in a team. You must push together. So I got these two, ASEAN and Faz and me, and we were just going through. Finally, we got into the PMO, but the PMO has thousands of like employees. So it was like a maze as well. We got in there, got all over the place, and finally we were found by some guards because we got totally lost. So the guards were like, okay, we'll take you to meet a few people over here and here and here. They all closed the doors on me, and then finally I met Anis Ahsan. Anis was not actually approached by me, it was approached by ASEAN. I went to Anis and said, come here for a second. Then I presented to her and she was like, okay. Then Anis introduced us to Felda. And from there we discussed. The day before meeting the Prime Minister of Malaysia, my absolute hero actually, I didn't know I was going to meet him. Honestly, I was up till about 5 o'clock in the morning presenting, like doing a brand new presentation by scratch, you know, doing a new letter. Then I went in there, it's like, James, come to Putrajaya. I'm like, okay. I was like, so I went to Putrajaya with my suit and everything. It's like, who are we going to meet today? Number one. I'm like, really? I was like, yeah. So I was like, okay. So we all ran towards the elevator, ran out towards the 5th floor. I think we have a bit more time. Sorry, Terence.
No, okay.
Then after that, we went into the 5th floor, and I went to the Prime Minister's office. His office, and it was beautiful. His seats, his things, and you can just see right in front is the whole view of Putrajaya. And then I saw him, the Prime Minister of Malaysia. He was walking that way. He was looking at me, and I was looking at him. He was like, "Who is this guy?"
Then, he's one of my son's classmates.
Then I had to sit down with him. I presented to him. I told him the plan, the outline. You have 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. You know, you got to be quick, direct, and straight to the point. And he was like, James, are you sure you want to do this? Yes. Are you sure you want to do this? Yes. I trust this aircraft with my life. And then he was like, okay, I'll help you in this. I cannot give you funds, unfortunately, but then I can give you my endorsement. So he gave me his endorsement, and that's all I needed. And with that, I went to all my sponsors and just chase. And most of them said no. Most of them said yes. Some of them said no, but then it was enough. It was enough, and then we just went for it. Then I did training with Mindev. Mindev, I think they enjoyed this. They took me to this boat, and they just took me out in the middle of the ocean, and they threw me into the ocean with my immersion suit. I was like swimming in the ocean for like 2 hours. No, that was an hour that time. And then after that, I did high hypoxia training as well. They actually threw me into like a cabin and took me up to about 22,000 feet. And the first time, my organs were actually about to explode because it was like expanding so much.
This is in training.
Yeah, this is in training. So they kind of cancelled it, put me back down and took me out. Then the next time around, I got up to the same altitude, but this time I started to hallucinate because it was part of the training. There was so many training involved, so many lectures, so many activities, so many briefings, and every single day meeting with sponsors, meeting with logistics, meeting with marketing, meetings after meetings after meetings. I was doing 22 hours a day.
Wow.
It was so much fun. I loved it. It was
from the time that you got the Prime Minister's endorsement until you completed your series of trainings, preparations, sponsorship deals. How long did it take before you arrived at that fateful day at Lima in March, where you were flagged off?
4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months of preparation.
That's a lot of work in 4 or 5 months.
That's
a crazy amount of work.
And I'm sure it was a crash course of sorts.
Oh yeah,
it was something you mentioned. Pilots take months, years of flight hours to prepare for, and you had to crash it all down into 5 months.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So it's takeoff time.
Okay.
We're at Lima.
Okay.
The Prime Minister is about to flag you off. How were you feeling?
Ready. I was feeling ready. I wasn't nervous. I had a great night's sleep the next day around. I got down there, and it was great to actually see him again, actually, and I was ready.
You know, having seen you on that podium and interviewed you before you flew off, you give people the impression that you've done this millions of times.
I've never done it. I've never done it ever before.
But yet, that was your first ever flight around the world.
Yeah. Well, Terence, I truly believe this. Destiny was my friend that day, and I took it. I seized that opportunity.
You know what, James? We've been talking for a good 15 minutes, and we haven't answered the second part of my first question.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry.
Which is, did Mom approve?
Ooh. No. Well, yes and no. Yes and no. She was a bit like worried and stuff like that, but then at the end of the day, she understood this was something that I needed to do, and she helped me like always. Like I said, my hero is my mother.
And she was your cheerleader too. She was with you the whole step of the way, really. And so was your dad and your sisters. Your entire family was on board with you and your team. And you managed to reach out to millions of Malaysians as well. You had the Facebook page going and everything. And we're going to talk about how he managed to update his Facebook, update his whereabouts every single time. You never failed. Even though you were lethargic, you were beat down from flying, you still managed to update all those things. So we're going to talk to James about that in a bit. But before we leave for the quick break, do you have a message to Malaysians with a dream, just like yours? It may seem impossible, but what is the one thing that you can tell them now that can maybe put that dream into full effect before we take a break?
It's one and very simple thing. For any dream to even have the possibility to actually succeed, is just one thing: a singular belief that it is possible.
Well, guys, when we come back, we'll talk about the dream in full effect and James actually flying across 21 countries to set not one, but 2 world records. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, and I'll plug that line in again. You're still in flight with Insight. And we're talking to Captain James Anthony Tan, the amazing Malaysian who set not 1, but 2 world records, and we've got them here with us. We pulled out all the stops for this interview. We've brought as much of the cockpit out to this interview as possible, but Captain James says Batman has some very important significance along his journey. So we're going to talk about what Batman did for you, and he's giving you that look right now, Captain James. So let's start off with takeoff. You flew off from Subang. So tell us about how things got started here.
Well, first of all, we all did a prayer. Then we had a last check on the aircraft, and I was nervous, and we went for it. We took off. We took off, and my first stop was Bangkok. We landed there. I met the ambassador. We had a press conference because this was the deal. Every single time I landed, I need to do press for the Visit Malaysia 2014, just everything, because it was my pleasure to actually do so as well. And we just went on and on and on. But I just want to give you some of my highlights of the trip. The first one was when I took off from Taipei into Fukuoka, which is Japan. And I was looking through my radar, my scope, and I was seeing thunderstorms there, and there. It's like, I think I'm alright. I think I can go for it. It was gusting about 50 knots. I was like, with that, even airliners do not fly. But I just don't know what I was doing. And I was like ready. I lined up and I took off. And wow, It was so much fun. You know, I got up, I went up to about 23,000 feet, went straight into the typhoon, and
You flew straight into a typhoon.
Oh yeah, I flew straight into the typhoon, and I was in the typhoon for about 2 hours and a bit. Well, it was the outskirts of the typhoon, so it was safe. It was safe, you know, it was safe. So I was in there avoiding all the cells, trying to get around it. And at one point, it was just raining and lightning. It was just getting ice. I was breaking off the ice all the time. And then I was flying. Then my whole wing just flipped on me because of the turbulence.
I'm sure Batman lost his cape. Because, you know, if I was on that flight, I would be, oh man, I think I would lose some color. Well, Captain James, tell us a little bit about the plane itself.
Okay.
You explained to the Prime Minister that you trust your life, you trust the plane with your life.
Yeah.
So what's special about this plane that you were so confident it could go through the entire journey across many different sets of weather, through typhoons, and land you safely back in Malaysia?
First of all, it was a proven engine. It had a Rolls-Royce engine, which is one of the best engines ever created. This was the Allison 250, which is 450 brake horsepower, fully jet fueled, unbelievable. Secondly, it had the altitude as well. It can climb above quite a lot of the really bad weather, because the bad weather stays between about 18,000 feet. Then above that it gets a bit better. It had de-icing. It had proven success. This aircraft in total of its type did 12 flights around the world, but that was in more advanced ages, and then they did in stages. One of them took about 4 months. The longest RTW I heard of was 11 years. Yeah. 11 years. Yeah.
11 years.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely shaved some time off that record. And we'll come back to how you did that. 21 countries.
Yeah.
So the typhoon, was that the most eventful part of the entire?
No, actually, no.
The typhoon was not the most eventful part of your journey?
No.
All right.
When I landed on the north part of Japan, which was in Sapporo, see, my battery is a normal battery. Normal batteries, which is LiCAT battery, about -5 to -6, it doesn't produce the same amount of juice. So I couldn't actually turn on my engine anymore. I couldn't turn on my engine with my battery, so I was like...
Where were you when you couldn't turn on your engine?
North of Japan, all over Russia and Siberia.
Were you like in the air or on
No, on the ground. On the ground, Terrence. On the ground, Terrence.
Giving me goosebumps here.
I was trying to turn on my engines. I couldn't do it quite a few times. Then I got the ground power unit. So right there, my battery didn't work. This was a brand new battery as well. Okay. You know, I spent money on that. So I was flying across the North Pacific into Russia, and the Russians are very, very strict when it comes to airspace. So I was just flying around. I tried to contact them, I couldn't. So I was trying what's going on. My number one radio failed on me. My number one radio and my number one GPS failed on me at the same time. So I was like, okay, interesting. So I turned back to my number two. My number two didn't have the range to actually contact them. So I tried to contact Manchuria, which is near North Korea. It just didn't work, so I was just going. Then I tried my HF as well. My HF didn't work as well. So I had 2 failed radio and one failed GPS. And I was entering Russia. Russia did not have the facilities to actually fix all of this stuff. So I was like, okay, so right now I have this problem all the way until Anchorage. So I was like, okay, so I was trying to make sure everything was nice and tidy. So I was just waiting, listening towards the frequencies. Then occasionally I get airliners. And I just like, guys, I'm here, I'm alive. Tell them, just tell them that I'm coming. Do not send the MiGs out. Don't send the MiGs out, okay? I come in peace, I come in peace. So I came on, finally was able to contact the airport when I was about 5 minutes away because of all the mountains, because that part of Russia is full of volcanoes and it's just everything all over the place. So I came in for the landed on this airport, and this airport was the worst airport I ever had in my life. The potholes were as big as this chair.
Potholes in an airport?
Yeah, potholes on the runway, it's like pop. So I was like, okay, it's pretty bad. Got out, it was minus 15 degrees. So I got out, it was like...
Potholes and
really
weather.
cold. Yeah, really cold. So I went back, relaxed, come back the next day, tried to turn on my engine, I couldn't. Then I went out and I checked my battery unit. Then I noticed something. I had a flat right tire as well. So I was like, okay. So I got two failed radios, one failed GPS, and now I got a flat tire. So I was like, okay, fine, no problem. So I tried fixing it. So I tried fixing it. I pumped it into it. Like the Russians, when in doubt, hit it really hard, and it works. Trust me. So I was able to pump up this right tire, but then because the Russians use hectopascals, for us we use PSI. So we filled it up wrongly, and my plane was tilted this way, and I was leaking jet fuel out of the left tank. So I was like, still okay. Still okay. So I was taxiing, took off, went off towards Andrea, which is the furthest north that we have ever been on this aircraft. And it was really bad. It was about -20 gusting winds, and it was empty. There was no roads, no sign of life. It was just absolutely white. As far as I can see, it's white with volcano. Speaking of a volcano, I was flying at 18,000. Suddenly there was a volcanic eruption on me. I just tell them now I'm really starting to get quite concerned. So this volcano puffing. My engine hates volcanic ash because it wasn't designed to take it. So I climbed up to 23,000, but luckily for me there was like an inversion layer. There was like an ash layer about 17,000, so it was fine, no problems. It was actually quite cool to see the whole thing. So anyways, I got there, got to the Andrea, landed inside Andrea, got out, and there was about 140 people there. That's it. It was 140 people plus one. Yeah. So I went there, had a chit chat. I had a conversation with some Russian guy named Igor, funny guy. I told him about my problem. He says, "Yeah, you gotta wait until Anchorage." So I was like, "Okay, I understand." So I stayed there. It was a bit sad. Luckily for me, there wasn't any Wi-Fi, but then 3G worked. It was unbelievable. 3G worked. Yeah, Xiaocom. So, anyways, we got up to Andrea, and then the next day I woke up and it was absolutely freezing. I actually took off my battery to actually try to preserve it, because each time you use the GPU, it was just so much money. I just didn't want to spend the money. So I tried, but finally we just had to use it. And then because of me inside there doing the engineering on the aircraft, I kind of lost all feeling on my right arm, because it was about, again, -20. It was gusting winds, and my hand was just numb. I just couldn't move it. I couldn't feel it anymore. Then I tried to open my doors and stuff. I couldn't, because it's all iced up. So I used like a screwdriver. I started picking. It was so much fun. It was just so many problems, just going.
Tell us a bit about Batman's role on the plane.
Batman's role was to keep me sane. That's it. He was just a friend for me, someone just to talk to, because there was a few times about 4 hours of just silence, of just the hum of the engine, and after a while it does get really annoying. It's like for 4 hours non-stop. So I used to talk to Batman, but Batman never ever replied me. And then even when he does, he was always talking about his mother being shot and his dad, and he was just being so emotional, just being depressing. Which I found quite troublesome.
Something about you flying him through a typhoon. So these are truly remarkable instances, and despite all these problems, you still shaved quite a bit of time off the previous record, the previous attempt by an individual to fly around the world in similar fashion. How did you manage to do this?
Well, to be honest, the reason why I tried so hard on Facebook is because that gave me hope. The reason why I made it around the world, it wasn't because of me. It was because of my people around me supporting me. That is why I made so much effort on the Facebook. I wanted to see everyone's comments and see them liking the page, and I was like, okay.
So we're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the final leg of the journey and the landing. So stay tuned, don't go anywhere. The conclusion to James' inspiring story around the world comes after this. you've been watching the show so far, you have been watching one inspiring story unfold right here on television. And for those of you that just joined us, where have you been? Well, anyway, you're just in time to catch the conclusion to this epic journey of Captain James Anthony Tan, as he set not one but two records in his flight around the world. 21 countries, 44,000 kilometers, was it? Amazing journey, James. So the final leg was Phuket to Alostar.
Yeah.
Tell us about that last leg.
Well, that last leg, I couldn't sleep the entire night. I was so excited, you know. So I was out in Phuket on the beach, just listening to the waves, trying to relax myself. Woke up, took off, flew, very confident, very like, you know what? I did it. Past the border from Thailand into Malaysia. I saw it on my map display. I started weeping like a little girl. You know, I can admit it. I was weeping like a girl. And it was amazing. And then Alostar was like, Helang 01, do you read? I was like, is that fine? So I landed in there, met up with the team for the PC7s, because they were gonna escort me back here to Subang for the PM and for everyone to see. And we did the briefing. Even though I was very tired, we did the briefing, how to do the coordination of the flight. We were doing about 300 feet above the ground, fly up, then break out and land. So we did that. We took off, very excited. We were just avoiding all the weather because it was just thunderstorms everywhere. Standard SOPs, you know, standard SOPs. But you know, it was interesting. Came in, did the fly pass. It was the first fly pass I've ever did in my life. It was amazing. Came in and went in for the landing and got the flag out, waved the flag, and it was unbelievable feeling. I don't know how to describe it. And
wow. James, you set 3 records actually. You set one for Malaysia, being the first time Malaysia's ever attempted something like this.
Yes. Yeah.
And the man you convinced to, give his approval and his authority for you to carry out this mission was, of course, the Prime Minister himself.
Yeah.
So after you've landed, did you get to meet him, and what did you guys talk about?
The Prime Minister, even though during the very, very interesting time that he had here back home, he was still asking about me if I was alive and stuff like that. And it was amazing to actually come out, and he was there. And I was very honored to have him there. And he came out, I waved the flag, and I shook his hand. He looked at me, and he gave me a hug. It was unbelievable, and I was like, "Wow, thank you." Then after that, I got a hug from one of my very, very inspirational person, which is Home Minister, the Dr. Sri Zahid Zamini. And then I got one of the greatest honors of all from the Air Force, which is the Smack of Glory.
Smack of Glory.
The Smack of
There's
Glory.
such a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Chief of Air Force was so happy. He gave me the biggest slap I've ever had in my life. It's like, Pah! But it was breathtaking. I think it was about 4,000 people there. There was music playing. It was a great ambience. It was the whole atmosphere, and it was just amazing. And I actually gave a speech in that area there as well. And if you want, I can actually tell the ending of that speech, which is actually quite interesting for this entire story.
Oh, why don't we save the ending for the ending?
Okay.
All right. We'll save the conclusion to James' speech for the very end of the program. But after you completed all this amazing stuff, you've inspired a lot of Malaysians to think out of the box, to really come out and face challenges in their lives. Because no longer are we content to just take the easy way out, right? Because we see someone who's doing the extraordinary, and he's charting his course on Facebook. We're following him through all this amazing stuff. He lands, so this means that he's now set a goal, gone through the trials and tribulations that are attributed to that goal, and he's achieved it. So how does it make you feel to be an icon now? You're not just James Anthony Tan anymore. You're Captain James Anthony Tan. You're just like Batman.
Well, I think there's a lot more I can actually contribute towards the future goal, especially for 2020. And this is but the beginning of my service.
Awesome. Such a humble man.
Beautiful.
And how did Mom feel after all of this?
Clean your room, James.
Did you tell her about the typhoon? And you must have left out the volcano. Okay.
My mom does know about the landing gear issues and stuff. I told her I'm fine. Yes, I've eaten, don't worry. But other than that, I try to, like for everyone, I try not to give too much of the nightmares, because nightmares tend to scare people away from the dreams. But the dream itself is so important, you know, it gives it the goal. And of course, there's going to be hard times, you know. Nothing worthwhile comes easy.
True, yeah.
So that's why I try to hide as much of the difficult things as possible. If you look at my Facebook page, it's all easy. I never show them the hard parts because I want them to see the final goal.
That's very nice of you. Yeah. And have you received feedback from young Malaysians following you?
Yes.
What are some of the things that they've asked you?
They asked me how to do it, how to do this, but then I always tell them the same thing. Every single story is different. Every single path is different, but you must go out there with passion and with humility. Passion is the willingness to suffer to achieve a dream, and then humility is the willingness to say, Terence, I have no idea how to smile like you, teach me.
Well, there you go. I'm not sure I can quite write a book about that. I'm not sure I can even come up with a dummies version for that. But James, you're truly an amazing guy. You know, you're so humble, and at the core, you're still the same young man who jumped into that puddle. Yeah. You're still the same young man who cut the grass for your dad over the weekend. Yeah. And you're this amazing pilot now. You've accomplished so much with your life. I have to ask you this. What's next?
Well, I am currently working on my next big project, which I still cannot tell because it has a few things that needs to be more rounded, which I'm very lucky to have some very experienced individuals to actually help me on that. So I'm very lucky in that.
So where's the plane? The amazing plane that accompanied you through the journey? It's right here?
Yeah, it's right here.
And what is it being used for?
Occasionally I do fly it for like VIPs, individuals, but we're trying to see what's the best option for the aircraft, but most likely we're going to sell it.
Alright, awesome stuff. Now let's come to that final part, the speech that you made after you landed. Okay. The conclusion for that speech and the parts that you want to share with us here on Insight.
Okay. It's actually a very interesting. What was it? Yes, that's okay. Here it is. Okay. There once lived a bridge builder in the middle of Africa. He had his son. His son was dying. All the doctors tried to help this bridge builder, but there was nothing which they could do. He was dying. Then out of nowhere, this random woman came and gave this young bridge builder's son the medicine of love. He got better. He had a purpose. He had something to live for. The bridge builder wanted to give this woman something back, but there was nothing he had of any value. So he thought, what could he give back? What could he give? Then he decided he wanted to do something extraordinary. He went to all the village elders, and the village elders were impressed. They took him to the village chief. The village chief decided to give this young bridge builder his entire blessing. And he wanted to go to the ocean, the first of his kind of his nation. So he went through vigorous training, went through unbelievable stuff, and he left. There was a huge celebration, and he left for 2 months, fighting weather, fatigue, diseases, and himself. After 2 months, he came back. There was a huge celebration. Everyone was there. And he went up to this woman. He asked this woman to open her arms, open her hand. And he gave this woman sand from the ocean. The woman dropped the sand, asking, "Why are you giving me sand for?" And the village elders came. He's not giving you the sand. He's giving you his journey. Together, we made this dream a reality. Together, we brought Malaysia around the world. And together, as one Malaysia, we will create wonders.
Thank you very much for that story. That was very inspiring, and truly it encapsulated your journey as well. Thank you, James, for being here on Insight. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And guys, we have landed. This is touchdown. really, for insight. Thank you for staying in flight with us for the past 1 hour as we've had this amazing conversation with an amazing individual, Captain James Anthony Tan. It's been my pleasure to host the show. I'm Terrence, and we'll see you next time.